What is up, you guys? This is probably gonna be my last video of the day. Probably not, because I always get good inspiration from my new friends and subscribers, because they always have good videos and they always give me something to think about. Now I have one new friend. Actually, she just subscribed to me, and I watched her videos, and I'm gonna put her link up there. But I loved her videos. I was like, girl, get it then. She's very intelligent with it. And makes good sense. I was listening to some of her poems, and there was one called Ode to Those Who Dare to Be Different. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna put it up in the little corner over here, and you'll be able to read it, look it up. And that's totally me. I'm like that. Like, I admire people who choose to not be like what everybody else considers normal. Like, when I was younger, I loved me some Prince, just because he was different. Okay, Prince was like the most androgynous man back in that time. So for me, Prince was like the shit. You know, he was like the stuff. He was like the bomb diggity, and I did say bomb diggity, okay? And he was just, I was like, get it in, Prince, Purple Rain, you know what I mean? And he's different, you know. I mean, there was times when he would come out with some assless chaps, and you'd be like, look at this. Look, he just butt just hanging out, butt cheeks just out. He was somebody who constantly pushed the envelope of what was considered normal or what a man's supposed to act like and be like. He was very himself. He's very out there with who he was, and never made no apologies for it, never made no excuses for it, and never cared that people talked about him. He was just like, this is me, whatever. So I really admired Prince. Who else I would say was who is very okay with being different? NDRE, Alicia Keys. They don't conform to what is called mainstream, I guess, R&B. They're kind of more to me neo soul, kind of, what I consider neo soul. Just very different, just like Floetry, with the way that their whole style was, and they did It's Getting Late, the whole way that the melody went with each other. It's beautiful to me. Who else? There's just so many people that I like that choose to be different from what everybody considers normal or mainstream. I love me some B. Scott. I love me some B. Scott. Love nothing. He is just too cute, and I love the way he is, because you know what he says, baby, it is okay to be different. It is okay to be yourself. It is okay, I mean, it really helps a lot of people out there, because a lot of people aren't what everybody considers quote unquote normal. So to see people like Prince and NDRE and B. Scott, who are like, I'm myself, this is who I am. You accept me or you don't. You either love me for who I am or you don't love me at all. Either way, I'm gonna still be me. That's the people that I look up to. When I was in high school, when I was younger, a lot younger, because I'm 23 now. But when I was about 14, 13, 12, I hung around people who were different. I had transgender friends. I had gay friends. I had friends who were goths, friends that wore the big Jinko pants, friends that had none but the tattoos and piercings, older friends. Because I like to be around people who were comfortable in their skin, who were comfortable with themselves, who were comfortable with who they were. I think the first time I met somebody who was ever comfortable with who they were was one of my friend's cousins. I used to go to her house every day after school when I was going to see my father, my daddy, the man who raised me. And she had a cousin who was transgendered. He was female to female, excuse me. And I love being around him, because he was just, baby, I'm me. And if my family don't accept it, I'm me. He would only go over there when her mom wasn't there. So evidently that's the reason why, they didn't get along. But what I really loved about him was that he loved to be himself. He was himself 24/7, honey. He would dance, baby. He would have his little dress on it and his little long hair. He was a pretty girl. And he was very proud of who he was, very outspoken about who he was too. And I love that. I love to be around people who are okay with themselves. I love to be around people who don't give a dang what people say, and are like, psh, what you say? She ain't no diva. Yes, those type of people. um I think that's why I know I've watched every last one of B Scott's videos, is because I love the way B Scott is. He'll tell you in a heartbeat, honey, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. So when I heard that poem, though, you know, an ode to those who dare to be different, it was so true, because I'm one of those people that admire people who aren't afraid to speak their mind, who aren't afraid to be themselves, who aren't afraid to show the truth or expose the truth or be honest, not in a hateful way, but just different. And like I said, like when I was young, I loved me some Prince. Prince is like my favorite. Love, love, love me some Prince. I was like, Prince, baby. He was just, honey, he would come out there in his little assless chaps and everything, baby, and I would just be like, purple rain. Big hair, makeup, and everything, and he would just be fly. You hear me? But it was because he could be himself, and he was very comfortable with who he was. He didn't care if people talked to him. That's what made him kind of my type of role model when I was young. Because in my family, everything was strict by the book. Everything was, you either conform to this image of what a girl and boy is, a girl or boy is, or what a woman's supposed to do, or a woman's supposed to be, or a man is supposed to be, or you aren't normal. You either conform to this image in society. That's how it is. You either conform to this image or you're not normal. So I say, forget being normal. Be yourself. Normal is boring. Be yourself. Because most of the time when you're trying to be normal, you aren't being yourself. There's a lot of people who are considered in the in crowd, you know, whether it's in the older society now or whether in high school or whatever, they're in the in crowd, and they have secrets that they hide from everybody else because they don't know how to be themselves. They conform and they follow their sheep. That's what everybody likes to call them, and I like that analogy of it, that whole metaphor. It's their sheep. They are sheep. They follow the herd. They follow everyone else, and they conform to what is normal, so they don't get talked about, so they don't get bashed, so they don't get, you know. I take that with a lot of people who just find it very hard to be themselves and criticize others for being themselves. They are jealous. That's how I take it, because they don't know how to be themselves. So we're gonna do this one, and I'm gonna do like my friend and what she said, ode to those who dare to be different. So you leave a comment about somebody that you or someone or some people who you consider to be different and are out there and love it, and you know, there's somebody to be admired because they truly are themselves, and that within itself is the greatest gift that you could ever give yourself, is to just be you. And that leads to love, true love for yourself. Peace.